This is my term project for Carnegie Mellon's 15112, Fundamentals of Programming and Computer Science. This is an app written in 2100 lines of pure Python code running on my iPhone. This is possible thanks to the QWERTY framework, which allows any app written using QWERTY's graphics framework to be converted into an Xcode project. This project is inspired by Ken Koshenda and his book Creative Selection, which describes his work at Apple developing the original iPhone's software keyboard. So this project is named after him. So here we are on the splash screen. We have 3 navigation buttons: Start Typing, Settings, and Learn More. I'm gonna go ahead and start typing. This is the typing interface. We have a familiar looking QWERTY keyboard with shift, space, backspace, and punctuation keys. At the top, you see a flashing cursor indicating where we will be typing. Notice how the cursor stops flashing when I'm typing and immediately resumes flashing as I stop. Also notice how the cursor is always positioned right next to the last character, no matter the character's width. Down on the keyboard, you can see how I get a nice pop-up as I tap keys, which helps me see the letter when my finger is covering the key. Of course, I can engage Shift to type in uppercase. You see how all the letters on the keyboard shift to indicate the case I'm typing in. Notice how uppercase is automatically engaged after punctuation keys. I can undo my typing by tapping backspace or holding it down to delete multiple characters. Now, let's take a look at the correction algorithm. If I type slowly, I don't make too many errors. But as I speed up, I start making more mistakes. And you can see how the algorithm is kicking in and automatically correcting my mistakes. We'll take a closer look at how it works in a bit, but at its core is a dictionary of the 300,000 most used English words. So what happens if I type a word that is not in the dictionary? When I'm typing my last name, which clearly is not in the dictionary, it autocorrects to a word that is. But if I go back and retype it, it will not autocorrect it this time. And also, it has learned that this is a word that I might want to type. So next time I try to type my last name, even if I make some mistakes, it will correct to it. Let's now take a closer look at how the autocorrection algorithm works. Let's go to Settings. Here we can switch on and off the correction. But if we leave it on, we can turn on debug mode, which will visually show us what the algorithm is doing. Alright, here we are in debug mode. When I type in debug mode, you'll notice how the key I tapped is highlighted in red and its neighboring keys in orange. As I type more letters, a line gets drawn between the points I tapped. The points and lines almost form constellations on the keyboard, which is why I'm calling my algorithm Constellation Correction. When I tap a punctuation key or the spacebar, the Constellation Correction is triggered. Now, in the bar above the keyboard, we see the words the algorithm thinks is most likely that I wanted to type. To get these, the algorithm generates all possible letter combinations from the key you hit and the orange neighboring keys. It then checks which of these are actually dictionary words. If I tap dog, it draws the ideal constellation for dog. That is, if I would have hit the exact center of each key. How many pixels I'm off from this ideal constellation, that's the pattern skew. The usage frequency is how often this word is used in the English language. So what the constellation correction does is that it picks the word with the highest usage frequency and lowest pattern skew. And in this case, that is dog. If I tap through the other words, you see that the frequency is lower or the pattern skew is greater. So, this is what I've been working on for the past few weeks. Thank you for checking it out.